I have been a fan of Deadpool ever since I saw him as a guest character in the Ultimate Spider-Man TV series, which was my first introduction to this unique character. Afterwards, I slowly began to look up more information about the character, learning his origins through reading Marvel Comics or watching breakdowns of his character by fellow comic book fans like Comicstorian. Rest in peace, my man, you were the best. Yet, when it came to watching his movie, starring Ryan Reynolds, I never got the chance to see it, mainly because it was a rated R film that came out when I was only 15 years old. However, with the Deadpool and Wolverine movie coming out this week, I decided that now would be a good time to give the movie a shot. So, here are my thoughts on the Deadpool movie after seeing it for the first time. Right off the bat, I have to say the opening credits to this movie were a main highlight. To have them play as a sort of comedic rip on opening credits was such a genius way to grab the audience's attention for how the movie was going to pan out. It was comedic, it was funny. The CGI wasn't the best, but who cares? It was great. Now, you can tell that this is a Ryan Reynolds rated R movie based on some of the slapstick comedy. Yet for this film, it works because he can manage to merge his comedy well with Deadpool's, which made the pairing of the two almost perfect, kind of like Robert Downey Jr. for Iron Man. You cannot see Deadpool being played by anyone else. What I also appreciate about this film is the fact that they did not just portray Deadpool's comedic slapstick, but also his underlying character beneath it. One thing I believe most people don't see when it comes to Deadpool is that he is a more tragic character who, despite his life, tries to help people in his own way. For instance, in the film, before he was turned into a literal walking tumor by Francis, Deadpool helped a college student who hired him to take care of a stalker. When his job was done, the girl clearly was relieved from all this emotional stress and tries to reciprocate by giving Wade a hug. In that moment, Wade shrugged it off and claimed that he was no hero, but later revealed to his friend at the bar that he only really accepts jobs for people who need genuine help. One could argue that this moment was covered up by the story of revenge against Francis. While this is partially true, those who have seen the movie have to remember that Wade was not just going after Francis for what he did to him, but also what he did to others who were tricked into the program. The only main downgrades I saw in this movie were some of the over-the-top scenes that I can't talk about for risk of demonetization. All I can say is those scenes might make sense because it is a Deadpool movie, but it felt like it took away from the film more than it helped it. Also, for some reason, I remember the trailers and marketing team make it seem like Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead were going to be a main part of the movie, but they were only more of a plot point. Like, they could have at least used Colossus in more of Deadpool's backstory, like they said he was at the beginning of the film, but he just wasn't there for some reason. The last main highlight I have for this film is that the combination of comedy and action was well done for this film, as well as the Easter eggs in it. Its action and comedy mixture were so well presented that it felt like it was an actual scene from a Deadpool comic being played on screen. And in terms of the Easter eggs, there were the clever yet obvious ones like the cross-genre Green Lantern and Batman and Robin jokes, and there were some more subtle ones I noticed, like a brief reference to Taskmaster when Deadpool is told that Agent Smith wants to speak with him. And of course, there was the occasional Stan Lee cameo, which I gotta say, I was a little surprised he was in this movie, but it was still good to see that he was supporting a Marvel comic book character. Going into this film, I admittedly was expecting it to be a more middle ground movie based on some opinions I had received before watching it. Yet after seeing it, I have to say the attention to detail for the character of Deadpool was so spot on that it made the film more enjoyable to watch. Honestly, it kind of made me more curious about Deadpool 2, even though I heard it was not as good as the first one. So overall, I would give the Deadpool movie a 9 out of 10. If you are a Deadpool fan and are old enough to watch it, I highly recommend it, especially with the new movie dropping this Friday. That being said, this Wednesday we are going to be covering the second film in this series before I do a non-spoiler review for the Deadpool and Wolverine movie that will drop next week. Until then, please consider giving this video a like, as it helps me do more breakdowns and discuss more films, and be sure to subscribe for more entertainment like this. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Take care.